What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Football Manager 2017 video. Today it's part 2 in my starter guide to FM17. If you've not seen part 1, go and check it out. It was basically loading up the game. Today we've got what happens after you've loaded the game. So we're looking at tactics, we're looking at training, we're looking at everything that you need to do once the game's loaded, but before you play your first match. Before we jump into the video though, drop a like on the video and also be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. But let's jump straight to it. Okay, so one of the first things I like to do when I join his team is look at the team report. Now it's a bit different this year. You get quite a few things, it's a very nice graphic that you get here. You've got a massive transfer budget, your team's good with decisions and so on. And you can also look at your squad depth, which is pretty cool. So you can literally look at every position on the pitch and see who the best options are there. This will change depending on the formation you play. So you can see Sturridge is our best striker, Firmino's our second best, Coutinho's best left midfielder, then Adam Lallana and Henderson are the two best centre mids apparently, and so on. But as I said, this will change with your formation change. So if you want to, play wing backs and so on, it will give you that option. If you want to know what transfer budget you've got, you go to this scouting tab and it will tell you right here. So Liverpool have a £40 million transfer budget and they have £475,000 per week extra to spend on wages. You can also adjust this budget, depending on what you want. If you want more wages, you can go to the left. If you want more transfer budget, you go to the right. And all these players here are the players that are interested in signing for your club. You can filter them however you want. Now, don't be fooled. Some of the players that aren't on here may still join your club. It'll just be a bit more difficult to get them to join. Now, obviously, you want to build a tactic. How do you do that? So you go to tactics, and I just skip tactic creator because I like to do it myself. However, you can go through that if you wish to do so. Now, obviously, there's no players here, which is a bit of a glitch. But once we start adding player, there we go. So as you can see, our positions are here. Now, if you want to change these in any way, shape, or form, it's not actually letting me, which is a bit strange. But let's just add in the players. So we'll add the players just so we can do so we can see what looks good on paper. Then you can start to move them around. So if you want to play like a 4-2-3-1 with Liverpool, you can literally move the players to wherever you want. And you can change the roles. Now, you can read up on these roles in your own time, but there's obviously different roles for different players. You can have box-to-box midfielder. Now, the more this little circle is filled up, the better the player is suited to that role. So Henderson is a box-to-box midfielder. You look at Firmino, he is an advanced playmaker, and you can set him to either support or attack. As I said, you can read up on all this when you want. You can set the mentality to whatever you want. Contain, you'll sit right back. Overload, you'll throw everyone forward. Team shape, you can be really fluid, where the defenders will also get involved in the attack, or you can be highly structured, where everyone literally sticks to their positions. Instructions gives you a bit of more, tactical creation. You can pass the ball into the box rather than shooting, or you can, drop deeper. You can press higher up if you want. You can be a bit more expressive. You can do whatever you want in the team instructions. You also have the player instructions, which goes into a bit more detail in the player role. So I'll take a look at Henderson. You can literally change any of this. You can tell him to dribble more. You can tell him to shoot more if you want to do so. And you can just save it. And if you don't want it, you can just clear it, or you can revert. You can cancel if you don't think it's right. You can also look at the set pieces. So if you want to see who the best corner taker is, you go to corners. Jordan Henderson's the best. You can put him on the left-hand side. If you want someone else taking one on the right, you can put Firmino there. It's the same for free kicks. You're sorted by that. Apparently Marco Grujic, Henderson, Firmino, Coutinho are all the same with free kicks, but I know Coutinho is the best because I'm a Liverpool fan. Put Coutinho in there. That's pretty straightforward. Opposition instructions only applies to when you are playing, an opposition team, so we won't come to that just yet. Okay, so training is quite an important part of the game. You go to the training tab, obviously, and then you can go team, individuals, coaches, and so on. But if you go to team, this is what you'll be greeted with. So you can select the general training. This will be what they do during the week. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. Fitness, they'll work on fitness. Tactical, they'll work on tactical, and so on. And you can just pick whatever you want. I go with tactical, and you can set the intensity levels. But obviously, beware if you put the high intensity levels, there's a risk of injury. If you put it to low, then they may get a bit bored and pissed off and so on. You can also set the schedule for match preparation. Now, match preparation is how much they will focus on the match in hand. So if you take a look at this down here, this match, we are currently set to work on that game, on that team, for 1.5 days. So there's the 1 and there's the half. If you move this to the left, it's actually gone to the right. If you move it to the left, you can see we can work up to 3 days for that single match. If you move it to the right, then we won't actually work on it at all whatsoever. So obviously you can mess around with this however you want. Individual coaching, you can go through this if you want and, pick them, like if you want to do an additional focus for Klein, to dribble or whatever, you can click on that. If you want to get a new trait, you can ask for your coaches to actually give you advice. However, I just tend to let the coaches do that themselves, to be honest. Now, if you want to see how your staff compare to the rest of the league, then you just go to staff, and it's just literally straight there. So if you're on training, you go staff, it comes up. So this is the best in the Premier League. This is the worst. That's the average. So as you can see, Liverpool have the best goalkeeping staff in the Premier League. They're pretty high up. They're second in technical, and then obviously everything is above average, which is good to see. Physios, they're second. Scouting, they're fourth, so not too bad to be fair. They're also fourth in judge and player potential ability. So this is when you know if you need to bring in extra staff, or you need to change staff, sack staff, whatever. If you're quite low down, I'd advise you bring in more staff, or you get rid of the ones you've got and bring in better ones, and that applies for all of this. Now, if you want to take a look at your under 23s or even under 18s, you just do it by using the tab here. And if there's a player that you see, so if we sort this by potential ability, and there's a player you see that you might like the to bring into your first team, you just click on the player, go to development, and go move to senior squad. And then once you go to your first team squad, you'll notice that wherever he is, I can't actually see him right now, he is here though. Where is he? Seyojo, he's now in our first team squad. Now, just because they're in the first team squad doesn't mean they don't have to play for the under 23s. You can still set them to play for the under 23s for as long as you want, and it's vice versa. If they're in their under 23s, it doesn't mean you can't pick them for the first team. So that, it's a good thing to have, but it's not vital. Now, if you want to sign a player, then you go over to here, or you can search them at the top, or however you want to find the player, but this is probably the best option. Now, just for the sake of this video, because it's Liverpool and because Raheem Sterling left Liverpool, I'm going to go for this. We're probably not going to be able to sign him, but let's just try. So you go to the player, you go transfer, and you go to make offer. Now, if you want to scout the player before you actually get them, you can go to reports and you can go get scout reports, and that will just give you a basic report on the player. Or you can assign a scout for up to 3 months on the player, which is pretty cool. And then obviously, once you decide that you want to sign him, this is where it comes to transfers. So you can literally pick how much you want to pay up front. So if you only want to pay 10 million up front, obviously I'm not going to try and sign Sterling because he won't join. But, you can pick 10 million up front, and then you get additional fees. So you can pay monthly installments, and you can pay over 4 years if you want. So you can pay 20 million over 4 years. You can pay £1,000 over 4 years, or you can pay it over 6 months. You can pay it however you want. You can also do players to exchange, which is usually on the transfer market, or you can pick anyone from your squad if you so wish. You can also give other clauses, for example, minimum league goals after an international appearances. So if Sterling makes 20 international appearances for England, then, you give City 20 million. You can also put in additional clauses of you can, loan back length. So this is good for, young players, so you can loan them back to the team they came from. You can also arrange a friendly, or you can put a buyback price on the player. So if you sign Sterling for, 50 million, and you say, you can buy him back for 120. You can put all kinds of clauses within the contract. Let's go and see what happens if you do actually agree a transfer fee for a player. Okay, so once you've agreed a fee for a player, as you can see, this is actually a new feature. We've agreed a £4.3 million fee for Jesus Navas from Manchester City. As I said, I'm not actually going to sign him, but that's what I've gone in for. This is a new feature where you can actually talk to the agent or even the player themselves and give them promises to actually, what will happen if they join the club. So, you can tell them what the long-term aim is, which is win the Premier League by this season, win the Premier League. This is actually pretty cool. This is the first time I've seen this, so if I seem a bit excited, that's probably why. You can say win the Champions League by then. You can literally say whatever. You can say win the Premier League by then. Let's add another promise. Let's see. We will look to follow the first team squad's midfield, I don't know, or we'll go with defence. So if we go like that and you suggest the promise and he's happy with that, so then you finalise the promise and then we'll see what happens after that. Now, if you also get a transfer offer come in for a player, as you can see, Bayern Munich have come in for Dejan Lovren, you can reject, stall or accept the offer, but you can also negotiate terms. So if you want more money, then you just bump this up. You just simply bump it up. Say I want 30 million up front for Lovren. So this will be £41 million. Obviously, they're not going to accept, but then you can suggest the terms. They then, renegotiate with you. And if you're happy with it, you can accept the offer. So there you can see, I've accepted the offer for £28.5 million for Dejan Lovren. after all the fees have been agreed. One of the next things you'll need to do is meet the team. Now, you can't get out of this, so you hold a team meeting and, you just say, welcome, I'm the Liverpool manager, and then you tell them what you want them to do this season. So I'll say, I think we need to qualify for the Champions League. And some people are saying it's been unrealistic. Some people are saying, yeah, good idea. And then you just carry on from here. Say, I don't think it's unrealistic at all. And then you say, there we go. So that's done. You don't have to do that again. You can have team meetings throughout the season if you want, but you don't have to. And then obviously back to the transfers. Once you've completed the part of agreeing the fee with the club, speaking with the agent, then you get to offer the player the contract. So here's the contracts page. You can adjust how much weekly wages you give them. You can see what existing contract they're on. So as you can see, Navas is on £85,000 per week. You can adjust it. You suggest the terms. He says he's happy with that. And then you finalise the deal. And that is done then. And then you've just got to wait for the confirmation to come through. You'll then be given the chance to have a press conference welcoming you as a manager. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to decline that offer, but most people will do that. Okay, so that is all for part 2 in this series. Obviously, the next part is the final one, and it's once you actually start playing a match, how you actually get into that process. But if you have enjoyed this one, drop a like on it. Also, be sure to comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. But thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.